Today we are going to talk about something I heard and then saw on social media, 1D, 1L. And then this man happens to be the initiator. Let's move on to our guest. Can you please introduce yourself? Though I know you, but for the sake of my viewers, what is your name and then what do you do?
Thank you very much. I'm Inusa Mohammed, Regional Convener or President of the Northern Regional Youth Network. I'm a youth activist.
What is the Regional Youth Network?
The Regional Youth Network is a combination of various networks or various youth associations, youth groups in the region. And it is in every district of the northern region. Okay. You have various youth groups in a particular district. They come together to have what we call the district youth network.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are campaigning for something we call 1D, 1L. What is 1D, 1L? Why 1D, 1L?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Northern Regional Youth Network has one of its focus areas on education in the region. And we have carried out a number of activities to engage stakeholders to ensure increase in the access and also ensure quality in the education of the region. In education, at the end of the day, the BEC result that comes out shows that performance is not good.
Okay.
And we had a number of discussions as to why we are not getting good performance over the years. And this is where we realized that majority of students find it difficult to read. There was an assessment that was done. I can't recall the organization that did that assessment, but it was clearly revealed that people in primary 6 or primary 5 are not able to read materials, textbook that is meant for primary 2 or primary 3. So there's very low reading ability. And so together with other stakeholders, we decided we should do something about it. And for the Regional Youth Network, we realized that in our districts and in the various communities, after school, pupils don't have any platform or safe space to continue with their academic work even after school. This is where we realize that it is important for us to have at least one modern library in a district. So if you say what is 1D, 1L, we are calling for one district, one library.
One district, one library. Wow, what an acronym. 1D, 1L. Just like one district, that's what do we call it?
One factory.
One factory. So that would be 1D,
one dam.
That would be 1D, 1F.
1F.
But this is 1D, 1L.
Yeah.
One district, one library. So stakeholders, we are pleading and then scouting for your support to help us accomplish this vision. Who are the individuals involved? Who are partners? Who so far, who are the people you've gotten on board as partners?
Yeah, the very first partner we contacted, or the stakeholder we contacted on this campaign, is the Regional Library Authority. By constitution, the Regional Library Authority is mandated to manage libraries in the region.
Oh, okay.
And so they happen to be the very best people we contacted, and for them to give us more information as to what is the state of libraries in the region. And the fact is that apart from the regional capital, Tamale, where we have the regional library. We have very few libraries in the whole region. You go to outside Tamale, you go to any other district, what you get is a structure, but you go inside the structure, which is referred to as maybe library for a particular district, and virtually
Nothing.
there's nothing inside, or whatever books are there are not adequate.
Okay.
And so this is just few districts that have structures, that have libraries. But majority of the districts you go, you don't find any structure or anything called a district library.
Okay.
Yes, so as part of this campaign, we want the various districts that don't have libraries to have libraries.
All right. So, still on the partners.
Yes.
Which people, which stakeholders have you been able to partner so far?
So far, the Regional Youth Network is working with partners like the Youth Empowerment
Okay.
for Life. We also have NORSAC
Okay.
and Oxfam
Okay.
as our partners.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Youth Empowerment for Life,
For Life,
NORSAC, and
NORSAC,
then Oxfam Ghana.
Ghana, yes.
We thank you for the support. Do you think so far these three key stakeholders' support or partnering you is enough?
Certainly, they have done very well in the kind of support that they give us in terms of training, in terms of stakeholder engagement. They have given us that support and they are giving us more.
All right.
But once the journey is not over,
It is.
you can say the support is enough or
Sure.
is not. Yes.
Okay, my next question is this campaign for only the northern region or something you are doing for the entire nation?
To begin with, as a regional youth network, we have done our survey in the whole region, and we have identified districts that don't have libraries at all and districts that have libraries but the libraries are not functioning very well. And so that is the campaign. For other regions, it is for equally the regional youth network that we have in those regions to also do their survey and see what is the proportion. Do they have the libraries in all the districts in their region? If not, then it is proper. They also join the campaign. We have started it.
So what mobility, what strategies have you put in place to ensure, because you have started, the idea came from you and then you have started. Have you contacted any of these other regional youth network heads to discuss this thing we are talking about right now so that they also take the step? Has something like that been done?
Yeah, we have had some discussions on this issue, and the indication is that they will also do the survey. And this is a few regional youth networks that I have discussed it with. Some contacted me to find out what the whole campaign is about, and I share it with them. And they are interested and they are also ready to join the campaign. Yeah.
So, this is Smart TV. We have here on the hot seat. Is the seat hot?
Yes,
Mr. Jackson from the Regional Youth Network, the convener or the president for the Regional Youth Network in Tamale. Today we are talking about the 1D, 1L, and then we are more enlightened about what 1D, 1L is. That is one district, one library. So we are pleading and then seeking out for stakeholder support. Welcome back to Smart TV, a place that we discuss the youth, a place that we reflect and represent the youth. Now we have here with me Mr. Jackson, the original convener or president for the Northern Regional Youth Network. And then the topic at hand right now is the campaign on One District, One Library. So to continue, Mr. Jackson, what activities so far have you carried out?
We started with flash mob. This was meant to create public awareness about the state of libraries in the region. So we gathered at the central market of Tamale with our placards with different messages concerning the state of library and the fact that we call it on stakeholders to take critical decision to establish one district, one library in the region. This more flash mob was followed by radio discussion, where we explain things and then call on stakeholders to take decision. This was an opportunity for the public to interact, ask questions about what the campaign is about for us to engage our citizens. Yes.
Okay. So still on 1D, 1L. Mr. Jackson, you've had encounter with stakeholders. You've met with some people. You've discussed. You've given them what is the plan, what is on the table. What is the response from these stakeholders so far?
Yes. Before the end of 2019, we had our last regional forum, which was a forum on 1D, 1L, where we invited various stakeholders. The regional minister could not come, but he was represented by a municipal chief executive of Sablugu, whereas a district in the northern region.
Okay.
At the end of the forum, we presented a petition to the regional minister through the municipal chief executive who represented him. And this petition, we requested clearly that as a matter of fact, the education performance in the region is not good. And so as one of the steps that we can take to change this narrative is to have libraries in the district. And so we want the minister to facilitate the process for us, for this campaign or this call to be fashioned into a policy. Once we have a policy that every district should have a library, then various stakeholders can come together to see how it can be done. So that is the first call we made. And the feedback is that it is a good call and they are looking into it.
Okay, and they are looking into it. Still on 1D, 1L. Now, the way forward. What is the way forward?
Yes, the battle has not ended. We have not. The policy is not yet out for us to know whether they have received our campaign message clearly or not. And so we're still engaging the stakeholders. We'll be making a follow-up back to the regional minister to find out how far has he looked into the call for one district, one library. Okay.
So Mr. Jackson, sorry, but supposing the stakeholders refuses to support or come on board, what then? Does it mean that is it?
With the campaign and the message that we have, and education being a very critical sector in our development, especially the youth, I believe they will listen. But in a worst case scenario, where, as you have indicated, if they don't listen, we're in a democratic era, and as young people, violence certainly is not one of our call. And so we'll continue to persuade the stakeholders to see reason in having a district, one library in the region to promote quality education, to achieve quality education for all.
All right, quality education for all. That is what we are really looking into. Now, before you go, what is your take on the new register?
Wow.
Or what is the take of the regional youth network or the national network of youth groups on the new register?
Yes. We have followed the discussions, and it is clear that a section of the country is saying, first of all, the Electoral Commission has taken the step to have a new voter register. But the feedback that is coming from a section of the citizen is that the Electoral Commission should hold on and let's have 2020 elections. There will be population census. The Ghana card is ongoing. When these two exercises are carried out, a lot of information will be made available for us to have a credible
Mr.
register.
Jackson, yeah, I get you.
Yes.
Now, what is your personal take? What is your take, like the network? What is the take of the network on this new voter register? Are you against the fact that it is being implemented, or you are for the implementation?
I'm for consensus building, and that is what we have called for. Certainly, whatever the issue is, the Electoral Commission and the rest of the public that is calling for the Electoral Commission not to introduce a new register should come to a consensus. Let's see reason in both sides, what the Electoral Commission wants to do and what the public or the section of public is suggesting that the Electoral Commission should do. When we build a consensus around this issue, it will be important. But if you take a side and say you don't want a new register, and Electoral Commission too says that we are mandated by law to conduct have a new register, then it becomes a tug of war, which is not good for the country.
Sure.
So it is for us, both parties, let's build consensus around this critical issue, because the peace of the country is very important.
Very good. The peace of the country is very, very important. Now, Mr. Jackson, I think I had one-on-one interview with one of the stakeholders from the Ministry of Education, and then the youth wants to be involved in decision making. But according to this man too, the youth are not active. You put the youth there and they are not there. What is the youth involvement in decision making or nation building?
Young people involved in decision making is very, very critical, and nobody should underestimate that. The fact is that young people are ready to contribute to nation building, and they should be given the opportunity, they should be given the platform to do so. Whoever says, I've given a young person opportunity and he has not taken it, I'm sure when you are given out opportunity, you should know why you are giving it out and the person you should give it out to. Certainly, young people are ready, but if the right process is not followed and you say you have given a young person or young people opportunity and they have not lived up to expectation, it is for you to tell us what exactly did you ask them to do and what was the outcome. But to say that if you give young people opportunity, they will not perform or they will not live up to expectation.
Don't you think partially or somehow
Yes.
he is right? Because I believe there are some young ones out there. What the man was saying is, you give the opportunity. Youth wants to be involved in decision making, but you give them the platform to, and then they are not ready. You see, the youth are calling out for decision-making involvement, but it's just a mere talk.
At this moment, I don't believe it's a mere talk that the young people want to be part of decision making. For instance, the Northern Regional Youth Network, in collaboration with Youth Empowerment, have engaged stakeholders to include young people at the various district assemblies on their committees.
Okay.
And most districts have responded positively.
Sure.
By inviting young people to be part of various committees at the district assembly. And those who have represented have actually represented very well. So for me, I believe young people are ready, and everything that we can do to support young people to be part of decision making. The fact is that if you are not a young person and you are taking a decision for a young person, at the end of the day, that decision is like implementing that decision becomes difficult. And we have seen that several times where a decision has been taken on behalf of young people. At the end of the day, the implementation becomes a problem.
Currently, there are so many people who doesn't even know about youth groups because of maybe education stuff, and then so if I'm not educated, how do I get myself involved? How am I able to even get to know or register under any of these groups to also partake in youth activities?
Thank you. If you look at the way the networks are being organized, it is from the grassroots, right from the communities. And in every community, you have a number of youth groups. Some of these youth groups are youth who are educated, some of them are not educated. And so in mobilizing young people to form a district youth network, we don't differentiate between these people are young people, are educated. They are those we are working with. No. We work with all young people, irrespective whether you are educated or you are not educated. And most of the times, we even emphasize that young people who are girls should be part of these networks. So in our mobilization, we involve all young people. We do not discriminate among young people. Once you are a young person and you are in a group, if you are not in a group, we encourage that you join a group in your community to be part of the network. And being part of the network starts right at the district level. You have to look for your district convener or district leadership, and then you will be given a form where you provide your details as to how you can be contacted.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is it. If you are out there and then you want to have a feel of the networks, you just have to get the regional convener and then get district and then get yourself involved or register to pick a form and then you register. The registration, is it involved with money payment?
Registration is absolutely free.
So registration, as you heard, is absolutely free. Come, because there are so many opportunities that these networks are giving to young adults. You go for training, you go for a whole lot. So don't just sit and then say government is not doing anything for me. There are youth groups that are doing a lot for everybody. You are involved, I'm involved. Let's share like this whole thing out there. So now, finally, we are in the era of election where people thinks violence and other stuff is needed to make this thing a reality. Before, you are going to advise our colleague youth out there to stay safe, to stay free of violence activities, And also finally, in your local dialect, you speak to the people of Tamale, so that they also flee from violence activities. So now
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I encourage all young people in the country, as we warm up into the election season. In the past, we have had a number of violence in our electoral process, packets of violence, which has not escalated and has not gone out of hand. It is important that young people do everything possible to stay out of violence. Don't allow any political party to use you to conduct any violent activity, to perpetuate any violent activity for their own personal gains. If you get involved in this violent activity and get yourself injured or die in the process, you have done yourself a great disservice and you have done your family a great disservice. Stay peaceful. Democracy is not about guns and weapons. Democracy is about decision making. It's about contributing to decision making. You are supposed to be part of the process.
So we will continue to engage them to do things right. Whoever emerges as the winner, we are all going to support and then help and then support them to do things right. This is Smart TV. You can go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel on Smart TV. And okay, on then Twitter too is Smart Stars GH. Instagram same, Smart Stars GH. Facebook is Smart Stars Movie Production GH. Just send your comments, anything you want to you want Smart Stars to highlight on their show, you just push it to us, and then on our next episode we are going to trend it out for you. So this is Smart TV. So in your local language, in the next 20-15 seconds, let's advise the people of Tamale.
So mabe abanza na ngwanyine poro so kamza ha kazana kyango ka sponsor bi paltaba 2020 election shadan kan nango bi pal kam asara na chembul kamza ha kwanwo ma ko zo yi fitina porbo puli election shati en na be piwo shati en na ka fitina nyele ka zable nyele de nyela ben shati en nan mpi pamba kabele tengbar ma zo titi so kan na wumso ye to abe so ka tizanga na chante kuso be mbuso be wurum be shaw ka isi cham la shel oyen yuama de ko to da anya vele anya dama de ko to tba agbale ka bia bo ay kabe la arma de ko to lapse la bo amata de zo bi pal kam pasala na chim zaha election wo chila kata bo sudo kata ponso sudo ka election man no sudo ka fitina shila karapune.
Okay, Kafitina Kadepune, my family and friends in Tamale. Let us stay safe. Let us go and then just vote. Let's stay out of violent people. If somebody wants to advise you to go against or do something, go pick a ballot box. Tell the person, stay safe. You may be arrested. He said the law doesn't work until you are found a culprit of the law. Then you will see. So this is Smart TV. Visit us always on Smart TV on YouTube, and then everything will be fine. A place where we represent and reflect you. I'm your host, Smith Efrifa Charles. See you next time.
Thank you.